What's going on, everyone? Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals was yesterday, and we saw the Golden State Warriors going up 2-0 on the Dallas Mavericks, winning 126 to 117. The Dallas Mavericks were a lot closer, and the game was a lot better, I guess, than it was in Game 1. The issue was the same issue that we saw with Game 1, which I talked about. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down in the description below. But the big problem the Mavericks have, which was even more apparent in this second game of this Western Conference Finals, is the lack of talent. Luka was phenomenal as always. He had 42 points. He took over and had a great game compared to what we saw in Game 1, which, again, we're all entitled to a bad game. And they did a great job of honing in on him. Luka made the adjustments, and he played so much better. But the problem is, outside of Luka, you don't have anybody that can really take over a game, that can really change the game, where the Warriors have several, right? Jordan Poole can get hot at any point and, all of a sudden go from 2 points to 20. Steph Curry, same thing. Klay Thompson, same thing. Andrew Wiggins even had a great game in Game 1 and showed that he's arguably the best fourth guy in the entire league. And you just see this abundance of talent that the Warriors have. And Mavericks are literally living and dying by the three. And they didn't shoot poorly. They shot 33% in the second half from three, which is a great percentage given the amount of threes that they threw up. It's just the problem is that they don't have that other go-to guy. Luka essentially has to do everything. Brunson, he's great. He has his moments and stuff, but he's not a second guy. He's not the guy that you want as your number two. He's more of a third guy. He would be the perfect third guy for the Dallas Mavericks. Dinwiddie, same thing. Dinwiddie is your fourth guy. He's your sixth man off the bench, like that kind of player. And Luka doesn't have anybody to keep. He's good enough to keep you within striking distance, but you don't have that other guy to kind of get you over the top to win games. Where the Warriors, like Steph, can have a terrible game and they're still fine. And that's not even to mention Draymond, who's doing what Draymond does. He's getting in foul trouble. He got in foul trouble Game 1. He fouled out in Game 2, but he's still a factor. He's still a guy that's there. He's still getting in, people's faces. He's being Draymond-like, and that still helps. And the Warriors just have this array of several players that all have a significant impact in one way or another on this game, where Dallas really only has Luka, at least consistently. Now, I don't think that the Warriors are going to sweep or anything like that. I do think Dallas wins at least one or two games. A lot of people are saying, hey, they were down 2-0 against the Suns and came back and won in 6, but it's not the Suns. We're not 1-7. I'm sorry, but they're not the Suns. The Warriors are a team that's been there. They've won championships. They've had the same team. They've had the same core for years. They're a lot more fluid. They're not reliant on two guys in Chris Paul and Devin Booker, where if they both have a bad game, that's it. The Suns are done. Where Steph Curry and Klay Thompson can both have bad games and the Warriors can still win. That's not the same thing for the Suns. And the problem we see is that Luka, if he has a bad game, they're done. If he has a great game and he doesn't get a great game from somebody else or like a really good game from several people, they're just not good enough to win. And they don't have rim protection. They don't have anybody. And you just saw so many, because of the Warriors' fluid motion offense and because of all the weapons that the Warriors have, they're able to just freely move the ball until they get a layup. Where the Mavs are just jack up 63s a game and hope you make 40 of them and you'll win. And yeah, that might work a game or two, but are you going to be able to do that for 4 straight games? I don't see that happening. The Warriors were down 19 points and down 13 going into halftime. And the Warriors came out and the lead was erased by the end of the third quarter. And it goes into the talent. It goes into the consistency. The Warriors just continue to play their game. And so all they need to do is just finally get out of that slump. And if you're not hot like you were in the first half, well, guess what? It's over. And that's what we've seen consistently over the last, several years with the Warriors. They just continue to play their game, much like San Antonio. Play your game, play your game, play your game. I get it. You're having a bad game, but if you play your game, you're going to get out of that slump eventually. And if you're close enough, you're going to win the game. If not, you're going to win the game 4 out of 7 times. It's just how it's going to work. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that right now in real time with the Warriors and the Mavericks. And the Warriors, again, are a different beast. They just have so many different weapons and such a fluid game plan. I mean, everyone knows their role. Everyone knows their job. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do. And it's like, let Luka get his 40 points and, make somebody else beat you. It's not going to happen. They're not going to be able to beat you. Luka's going to get his money. He's going to get his points. He's going to get his money. But until Dallas gets that one star, I don't see it happening. I don't see them winning it. And the problem is like, will they be able to? I think Luka very likely is going to attract other big names. Problem is that you got to pay Brunson, right? And he's going to take up a bunch of cap room. You got to keep a lot of your 3-and-D guys because that's how you got there. And then you're paying a pretty penny for Spencer Dinwiddie. It's like are you going to be able to get a Bradley Beal or a Damian Lillard or do you sign an Andre Ayton? That's the problem. That's where the road ahead leads. Is like Dallas just needs other consistent guys. He needs another guy that can every game, night in, night out, guarantee you 20 points a game, 20 plus points a game, but within the frame of everything, not have to rely on you to go get it. Like I said, Brunson's great, and it has nothing against Brunson. Brunson is fantastic, but he's your third guy. He's not your second go-to guy down the stretch. He can get his own, he can create a shot, he can hit shots, he can go and get you 20 points a game. He can get you 30 a game, but he's not a guy that takes over and controls games. There's a big difference. And that's the difference between a superstar and just your run-of-the-mill guy that can get you 30. There's lots of guys that can put up big numbers and get you 20 to 30 a game, but they're not leading any teams to a championship. They're not a second guy. You need a guy that can come in and be that consistent guy, that can come in and play defense, dictate the game, control what needs to be controlled, just like the Warriors have. Like the Warriors have 4 guys that can literally change and impact the game. And that's a big difference. But, as always, again, I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's always a discussion. So let me know your opinions down in the comments below. I just see the same problems. I think Dallas has a talent issue. I think that they're going to win some games. I still think that I think they at least get to game 6. I wouldn't be surprised, though. I mean, if Dallas loses both of these one of these home games, I think it's over in 5. I don't think that they're going to beat the Warriors at home. I mean, I could be wrong, but if they go down 3-1, it's definitely over. And if they don't win both of these home games and make it tied going into Golden State, I think they lose in 5 games. So they need to win these 2 home games, and then I think that they force at least a game 6, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to game 7, especially if you tied it. Because if you could tie the series after the 2 games that just happened, you're in a great position if you're Dallas. But I think ultimately, it's what I said in the previous video. I just think Dallas doesn't have the talent. This is just a degree of talent outweighing a good team. They're a good team. They're not a great team. And I just think that, they got extremely hot in that Sun series. And unless that happens again and they can replicate that and they can get hot for like 4 games, which, is always possible. But if they don't get like in fuego hot, I think the series is over. But anyway, again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Follow by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.